Vinayak Chatterjee, thanks for being with us. Your initial take, is this a kind of game changer budget, or as Naushad Forbes was saying earlier, that this was an extraordinary time, but we got a business as usual budget?
This is an extraordinary budget. It is a game changer budget. And as you know, I see it through my lens of infrastructure. It is well conceived, well structured, thoughtful and practical. And I can tell you that I have noticed 6 very major thrusts in infrastructure, and the corridors, the whispers in the corridors at CII here is almost that it's an infrastructure budget. If you add up all the allocations and the text, much of it was focused on infra, which is to be expected, which is what we had desired to actually kickstart the economy, as well as, you know, give the necessary impetus to public works and infra spends. Let me very quickly tell you the 6 broad areas that I think the FM alluded to. Number 1 is a historic creation of a new developmental financial institution for the sector. I mean, we are going back to when India was starved of capital in the 60s and late 50s, when a large swath of Indian industrial capital was built by the 3 DFIs. And now we have a new DFI where a new bill will be tabled. It will be under an act of parliament. And a new institution will be created to fund infra and public works for which would have economic returns as distinct from purely private sector financial returns. The second is a very thoughtful blueprint on asset monetization. I will not go into the details. The third is a substantial increase in capex. 34% increase in capex for infra on top of a 22% increase in the last year's budget. 4.12 lakh crores allocation in last year's budget now becomes a 5.54 lakh crore allocation, a 34% increase, I think the largest ever that I've seen in the last many decades that I've been covering it with you and Pronoy and others. Fourth major thrust area was, let's call it simply the shadow bank, the shadow bad bank, which is the combination of the stressed asset company and the stressed asset management company. This is as close to a bad bank that you would get, that will pick up assets and then run them or divest them or do whatever and take away the stress from the commercial banking system. So you actually have now a shadow bad bank, which the sector has been crying out for. You have got, again, a very thoughtful move on an extended list of strategic divestment of central public sector undertakings. And I overheard some creative scheme of motivating states to sell off their defunct state PSUs also. That needs a little more investigation. And finally, strategic thrust number 6 is a far more friendlier tax regime for foreign investors in infra. So just to recap, 6 broad thrusts in what is almost being called a healthcare agri-infra budget. Institutional intervention, a DFI. Number 2, asset monetization. Number 3, substantial increase in capex. Number 4, a stressed asset management solution. Number 5, strategic divestment of CPUs. And 6, a friendlier tax regime for many foreign funds who are interested in investing in infra. But let me stop here.
Very good points. I think these are very good points. They are real positives in the budget. Yeah.
But I did have a quick follow-up, if I may, Vinayak Chatterjee, that while many of these points certainly on paper are laudable, isn't this also a song we've heard before? When you talk about a DFI or banks for infrastructure funding, they already exist. Many of them are deeply stressed. We've seen what's happened to the NBFCs, the shadow banks, who are involved in infrastructure lending, stressed and or embroiled in scams. Again, when you talk of disinvestment, last year, again, ambitious targets, something like 2 lakh crores, only ended up downward revised to 32,000 crores. So is there a gap between
of course, I can't
theory and
dispute
practice?
that. I think the job of the budget and the finance minister is actually to create the framework, the vision and the blueprint for the direction in which she wishes the country to go. Now, the implementation, to my mind, is the collective work of all senior cabinet ministers, including the Prime Minister. One of the things that worries me is now that the attention might actually shift from financing to these pipeline of projects which are ready for implementation. You know, the National Infrastructure Pipeline envisages 20 lakh crores of shovel-ready projects on the ground, which can absorb 5 lakh crores which actually have a budget of 20 lakh crores. Now, if you see it, the budget allocates 5 lakh crores. We still have 15 lakh crores to organize. And that
Right.
itself is a challenge. But the bigger challenge is that an infrastructure project or public works projects have a 4-year life from concept to being ready, to commissioning. And which means that if you got to invest 20 lakh crores in a year, you need a funnel of 20 into 4, 80 lakh crores of shovel-ready projects at different stages of incubation. I am afraid we do not have such a large bank of projects, assuming for a minute that the finance issue was solved. So now the attention will also shift to what we call the project implementation stresses, and one of the bodies that I have been recommending, I remember 2012 to 2014, the last 2 years of the UPA government, when stressed assets were touching about 17 lakh crores,
Yeah.
they set up a project management group under a dynamic IAS officer called Anil Swarup.
That's
and he
right.
was able to bring down 10 to about 7 or 8. So along similar lines, though not exactly the same, I would like to advocate an infrastructure project group of very senior dynamic officers as well as co-opted professionals from the private sector attached to the PMO who will cut through the entire red tape of permissions, regulations, clearances, and even conceptualize 80 lakh crores of projects. So
Right, that's a
increasingly
good-
on channels like yours,
Yeah.
the discussion should move away from financing
To
into
implementation.
how ready are we for 20 lakh crores of project implementation
Okay,
year
fair-
after
fair-
year after year
fair
without
point.
any hassles. So
Fair
your
point.
point is
Fair-
well made.
Fair point about that
Well-made
project.
point, but we keep saying that.
Yes, go ahead.
We keep saying that,
Right.
and again, I must say, it just sounds like important point that we must do better. We've been saying that for so many years. It's like, as I mentioned, the cricket commentator, if we bat well, bowl well, and field well, we may actually may win the match. What we need is all that to change. That we've been saying for 50 years. We've got to get our implementation right. We've got to get good officers, honest people, get it all going, intelligent plans. But that, and you say it's not the finance minister's fault. I agree.
Okay.
Yeah, there are some sectors that have shown that we can do it. Now remember,
Yeah.
the peak
Yeah,
National
yeah,
Highway
yeah.
Authority in normal times reached a peak of 20
Roads
lakh,
have done
29
very well.
kilometers per day.
I
In-
totally agree.
In the middle,
Roads have
of
done
COVID,
very well.
in the middle
Yeah,
of COVID, we
highways.
were able to do
Yeah.
23 kilometers a day. So there is obviously an institutional structure,
Right,
not
which
perfect,
can do it.
which can
Okay.
demonstrate it. Now, if
Let
you
me-
see the pace of railway projects being implemented now
Yeah.
in the last 2-3 years, it is showing similar trends to national highways.
Right,
So
so-
sector by sector, we need to get our act together on implementation.
Okay, fair
And
enough.
Some of the sectors have shown, like
That you
rural
can do it.
electrification.
Right.
You know,